Hello and welcome to round 11 of the 2025 Super Formula One World Championship, the Spielberg Grand Prix. We are here in Austria for 47 laps around the Red Bull Ring, a 2.68 mile track with 10 turns that is known as the home of Red Bull racing. Red Bull celebrating 20 years since they made their Formula One debut and are commemorating it here in Project SF1. We're all set to take a look at the starting grid.
Starting at the back, Nico Hülkenberg starts 20th next to Carlos Sainz in 19th, Yuki Tsunoda starts 18th next to Esteban Ocon in 17th, Franco Colapinto starts 16th alongside Alexander Albon in P15, and then Lance Stroll in 14th alongside Isaac Hadjar in 13th. Oliver Bearman starts alongside the user driver Liam Lawson in P11. Behind Kimi Antonelli and Gabriel Bortoleto with his first top 10 start in P9. Fernando Alonso starts 8th alongside Pierre Gasly in P7, and then Max Verstappen starts P6 alongside last year's race winner Charles Leclerc. McLaren teammates Piastri and Norris start on row 2, and then Lewis Hamilton starts P2 next to George Russell on pole for the 4th time in 6 races.
We are underway from the Red Bull Ring on the uphill climb to turn 1. George Russell leads us through 1, and Lando Norris getting on the outside of Hamilton and Leclerc around Piastri. So Norris and Leclerc both getting a place at the start. Gasly is there as well, and he must have gotten ahead of Verstappen, but Verstappen is back as up into turn 3 they go. Clean so far, and Verstappen from 6th into the corner on the inside of Leclerc and through to 4th at the start, as everyone seems to have made it through fine now. George Russell leads into turn 4. That first lap is always tricky around here, and that trend continues. 8 cars into the pits here with lap 1 damage. That is nearly half the grid. Tsunoda at the back of it all. That's a Red Bull down. Lawson versus Bortoleto. Bortoleto his first start from within the points, still looking for his first points, but he'll have to let Lawson by for now. On the inside into 1, Lawson up into P8. Up the hill, Verstappen versus Leclerc into turn 3. Leclerc will send it to the inside, still not ahead, but he gets the better launch out of the corner and will have that move done. Verstappen still staying close. And now he switches back down to the inside for turn 4. Not close enough, as from behind comes Piastri. Catching Verstappen by surprise is the McLaren and puts Verstappen out of the top 5. First points on the table for Bortoleto, but he's been dropping back since the start, and now he's got Carlos Sainz to the inside of him at turn 4, and Gabriel Bortoleto dropping out of the points. Russell and Norris separating themselves out front. Here's 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, all packed together as Max Verstappen wanting to re-enter the top 5 and around the outside of turn 10, making the move on Oscar Piastri out of the final corner, but they'll all be nose to tail coming across the line, and Leclerc looks eager to get in front of Hamilton, slots under, and Verstappen is looking now, but nothing changing through turn 1. Let's keep an eye on the run up towards turn 3. Leclerc looks to be threatening his teammate Hamilton on the way up the hill. He's going to have to go the long way round because he's got the outside, but he is alongside already into braking. Hamilton on the inside, but Leclerc again with the better traction and better exit out of the corner. Lawson on Gasly. Gasly's going to have to come back at him down the straight. Pierre Gasly on the inside. Let's see if Lawson will fight this one. No, Gasly is through, but a switchback on the exit has Lawson in good position up the hill here. He's going to carry the slipstream all the way up as Gasly checking his mirrors for which way Lawson goes. He's leaning towards the outside, and he is on the outside, under braking. Another switchback attempt. Gasly keeping him at bay, and Gasly's defending pretty well here, as now Kimi Antonelli is keen to get in on this. down into turn 4. He's got the inside on Lawson, and Lawson is going to try to have to fight this one back. on the outside, but he has the slower getaway. Antonelli taking advantage. Lando Norris is under pressure from Leclerc down into turn 9. Leclerc slides to the inside, under braking. Leclerc forces his way down there and into turn 10, is up into second place on the McLaren. Russell getting stuck behind some traffic, and that'll put Norris on his back. But Norris will get stuck, and now Verstappen gets through. He's on the podium now. Leclerc got through on Russell for the lead too. We didn't catch that one. Leclerc catching traffic now, but he'll have no problem getting through on Hulkenberg. And Russell follows him through into turn 9. Russell sticks his front wing down the inside and goes for it. There wasn't a large opening, but there George Russell into turn 10, clipping the curb and is through and back into the lead. Leclerc is getting some good exits today though, because here he comes back at Russell up into turn 1, up the inside. Leclerc gets right back into the lead, but it looks like Russell will stay with him. On the run to turn 3, Russell on the outside, Leclerc on the inside. And once again, the Ferrari with excellent traction out of almost every corner. George Russell coming back at Leclerc down the inside of turn 9, and he is through. Leclerc now getting held up by Behrman, and Verstappen and Norris are catching him rapidly. Verstappen is through, Norris is through as well. Horrible sequence for Leclerc, and Verstappen is now up into second, Norris up into third. Red Bull bringing in Verstappen into the pits. He's coming in here on lap 26. Leclerc will follow him into the pits. Hamilton will be coming in as well. Look at him fighting just to turn into the pit lane entry. And let's see where this puts Norris. Having pitted last lap, he will come across the line and up into P2. That's a successful undercut for the McLaren, as Verstappen is only coming out now. Russell is in on this lap, and Lando Norris will take the lead of the race when he comes around. Going across the line now and up into P1. As Verstappen and Leclerc race the Mercedes out, and they will have made it through turn 1 by the time Russell gets out. Leclerc following Verstappen through and challenging up into 1 on the inside and banging wheels as Leclerc gets through. And now both drivers having to pit the contact at turn 1. Apparently that gave both cars damage, and so they're in again on lap 29. Here comes Lewis Hamilton down the inside of Russell. These two battling the past couple of weeks, and Hamilton is ahead and up into second now, back where he started. Around the final corner, and he will get the slipstream down the front straight. This is for the lead. Lewis Hamilton on Lando Norris. into turn 1. Hamilton forces his way through, and I hope that wasn't damage with the contact there. That looked very similar to the Verstappen-Leclerc incident. Kimi Antonelli is gaining on Liam Lawson. Lawson going defensive. He's going to hold Antonelli the long way round, and he holds station. But Isaac Hadjar sends it up the inside coming out of turn 3. Look at the launch that he gets ahead of Lawson too. And Lawson's trying to find a way back, but he's going to have to defend from Antonelli into turn 4. Antonelli going down the inside. Gasly is there as well. Kimi Antonelli all the way around and up into P8. Lawson losing 2 spots here. But he comes back at Antonelli at turn 6. Not enough space to make it through there. And he even went on the grass to make that move, but Antonelli closed it off. And now Gasly is on the back of Lawson, but Lawson goes defensive again. Wheel-to-wheel contact, and Gasly around the outside to get ahead of Liam Lawson. 3 places down in 1 lap for the RB. But he's already coming back at Gasly now. Got a great exit, looks down the inside, he's not close enough. Now he goes back to the inside through turn 1 and gets that place back in no time. Kimi Antonelli sending it down the inside of Hadjar. Side by side, and Antonelli moves up another place. George Russell has allowed Max Verstappen to come back into this race because he's had damage, but Russell hasn't exactly been rapid, and the Red Bull has been steadily closing in on the Mercedes. Closing in around turn 9, up the inside, both going a bit wide, but back onto the podium is Max Verstappen late. Racing Bulls, racing around the Red Bull ring, no team orders between these two. Lawson around the outside, didn't really look like Hadjar fought that one much. Here comes Lawson now on Antonelli around turn 9. And that was identical to the move on Hadjar a lap ago. And Lawson is back up into 7. Hamilton is running out of time to make a move, but he stayed close. They've got Alonso ahead with blue flags. Norris goes through, but Hamilton doesn't. He's stuck behind and he's dropping back. He won't be close enough into 9 and 10. There he is now in the background, but it won't be enough. So Lando Norris, back-to-back weeks, back-to-back wins, and win number 5 on the year. Lando Norris wins the Spielberg Grand Prix ahead of Lewis Hamilton, podium number 5 on the year. And Max Verstappen, after damage, brings the Red Bull home on the podium at home. Lando Norris equaling his 2024 win count in 11 races. So Lando Norris wins the Spielberg Grand Prix, his 5th of the year, 2 weeks in a row. Lewis Hamilton was close to a 2nd Ferrari win, but instead it's P2 with the fastest lap. Max Verstappen comes back from damage and finishes 3rd ahead of pole sitter George Russell. Charles Leclerc P5. Oscar Piastri was in no man's land in P6. Liam Lawson, his best result of the year, in 7th. Kimi Antonelli in 8th. Isaac Hadjar in 9th. And Pierre Gasly with another point. Fernando Alonso narrowly missing out on points, and Gabriel Bortoleto, tough race for him, was up in 8th, fell to 13th. Yuki Tsunoda was the only car from the Red Bull camp outside of the points today. Lando Norris is making a run here just past the halfway point of the season, 21 points out front. Lewis Hamilton has now entered the top 3 in the standings. He was 8th after round 4. Piastri dropping a spot, but that top 4 all still very much in it at this stage of the season. Lawson with a 3-place jump down in 14th. In the constructors, we have a change. Ferrari jumping Mercedes now for 2nd place, now 10 points in front. No other major changes. That's it from Austria. Lando Norris continues his 2025 championship campaign with win number 5. we will head to the home of motorsport, the United Kingdom next, for the Brands Hatch Grand Prix. Until then, thanks for watching, make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you next time on Project SF1.